So, hi everyone, my name is Renee from AIM Asia, and I have with me today Tobias Leong from Axium Industries. Hi, Tobias. Maybe a quick introduction about yourself and what you guys are doing at Axium.
All right. Thanks, Renee, for the invitation for this podcast as well as the event that's about to happen. Really excited for it. I'm Tobias, the CTO and co-founder of Axium Industries Group. And what do we do in a nutshell? We deploy industrial AI for companies in a lot of the core industries such as manufacturing, the energy sector, maritime, as well as physical retail. Thank you for the invitation, Renee.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're trying to resolve today, and what are some of the industries that you're serving?
Right. So, in terms of the industries we're serving, a lot of the core industries are inside ASEAN as a contribution of the GDP. So, think of things like manufacturing, logistics, physical retail, maritime, the energy sector. This is a lot, comprises a lot of the customers that we serve today. And the problems that we solve for them is in sort of two parts. Right? One part is about the consolidation of the data into what we call a data fabric, and that is very much needed for them to then to do the second phase, which is to use agentic AI for intelligent automation, as well as doing things that humans actually can't do today.
So, when it comes to building agentic AIs, you also require that the companies have the right kind of data. So, how should they even start?
Really, really good question. A question that we get asked a lot as well from our customers. And I think to dispel that one myth, like, do you need to have like a data warehouse, an ERP system? And the answer is no. We have worked with customers where all they have is a couple of Excel sheets they're using. They have a lot of PDFs, and there's also a sufficiently good base actually to get started with doing all of this. Of course, the more data you have, the better structure it is. And then this is something that we can then work with to build in what we will call a knowledge base of the things that your company is doing today. How is it going about? The people are actually going about doing all of this. The ways that we do this, we solve data problems that I'll call the three V's, right? So the first V is in terms of variety. So it comes down to many companies have silos all throughout their company. They have maybe an ERP system. They might have a SharePoint where they have a lot of Excel spreadsheets, a lot of PDF documents that they have there. And we also have usually some kind of tabular structured data. So that sales data, transaction data, and we are solving that first problem by consolidating all of that, having this sort of data pipelines coming in to structure them effectively for generative AI to be able to understand that. The second V that we talk about is also volume. Many of the industrial companies we work with, they often have sensors, maybe a PLC data. They have specific industrial processes that's outputting a lot of data. And some of them, they tell us, right, that I have all this data, but I don't want to even touch it because it's way too big. We don't even know how to make sense of this to get the signal for more of the data in there. And we help them with that, efficiently ingesting that, structuring that for the right context for the AI agents to actually do it. And then the third thing is on velocity as well. A lot of the high-tech manufacturing processes, be it your semiconductor kind of manufacturing, to even things automotive, aerospace, there tends to be a lot of data that's being outputted right now. So it comes in very frequently. You have maybe your 10 kilohertz sort of sensors sending in 10,000 plus data points every single second. And you need efficient frameworks, right, for them to be able to structure the data, for then AI agents to take that to make a lot of the intelligence, right, that many people think about when it comes down to AI.
So you talk about variety, you talk about volume as well. Right, fantastic. So could you share some case studies in which, the companies really see great benefits after that? And what sort of ROI we're talking about here?
Okay. So one of the companies that we work with in the energy sector, it was kind of like one we say a very pedestrian sort of like business problem, which is procurement. Now, every company has a procurement function, but that today can be quite inefficient. To give you an example, when you are throwing out a tender, you're asking for bidders to come in, you might have all these requirements, and each bidder will give you maybe 70 pages, 100 pages that comes back. So if you have, say, 5 bidders that comes back, you have now hundreds of pages of documents to actually go through. It's taking humans a lot of time to actually go through all of this. And so for them, that could be like 6 weeks or so just to go through each bid package and compare the technical specs, the commercial aspects of it, with what the requirements are. So one of the solutions we have done is to take that and for AI agents to understand the requirements, understand your company processes, and then validate the bidders' submissions against that. And this saves them an incredible amount of time. It gives them also a lot of assistance in pointing out where things are insufficient, where things need further clarification. The AI agents read through all of that, gives you all the different categories of where things are sort of missing, and even generates the clarification letter, email out there to the bidders, right, with the company letterhead and the logo. And so even our customers telling us that the suppliers, the bidders were telling them, hey, how come you're so much faster this time? You can just give us the response in a couple of days rather than in the past, right? It take them many weeks to do so. So there's this one general class of problems coming down to procurement. And we have also done work on the other side, in the construction sector for bidders. So we have tender requirements. Now, the more bids that you can actually put in, faster and more effective that you are in doing so, the more sort of business that you can actually do across the current bandwidth of the company. So we also help them prepare bids, adjust whatever it is that the company's products or solutions are to the formats that's needed for procurement. We help them using our AI engine to actually do that. This procurement is one. Second thing, more specific for manufacturing, is a lot to do with the manufacturing process itself. So we have worked with manufacturers here in Malaysia, where we have increased their production capacity by looking at the processes that they have, where the bottlenecks are, and designing an effective work combination for them to be able to balance their time across. So for I think the manufacturers out there might probably be aware of this term that I'm using to actually lower their takt time so that the stations across can actually do this faster, but not just in one specific station, but across the entire line, and thereby increasing the production capacity. And we also have done things in terms of defect detection. I think for many manufacturers, you want to be able to produce in sufficient quantity, but not just that. You want to do that sufficient quantity and quality as well. In terms of your OEE metrics, improving that quality will be also result for them many millions, right, of ringgit savings when it comes down to using AI agents effectively with low latency data for them to take actions and decisions, right, quite close to the real time.